Hello everyone, I am Tacit, and today's finally the day we will be getting around to finishing out the monument. We finally are within the final stretch, just need to go get the final pieces and we'll get the venture slot and everything else we end up getting from it, like the fish and everything. They have been doing some more patches to the Easter thing, mostly just to fix a bunch of bugs, but otherwise it's pretty much exactly the same as what we showed yesterday. As far as the thing, like they fixed the slime room bug that we ended up having yesterday, where the one menu ended up coming up. But yeah, once we finally finish this out, we'll be able to focus on other chapters, like Chapter 3. I'm actually considering maxing out completely just Chapter 3 next, and then worrying, of course, about alchemy or something similar along those lines. Still not sure the exact order I want to do it in, but the only thing I know is we need to go do Monument. So let's go head over there. I don't think I've gotten a single jade piece yet. However, we can start off with finishing out the stone, as I did make sure to go get all of the stone monument pieces. So we are good to go with that, to go and finish that out, which will give us the salmon bonus, the final fishing bonus, which don't really do that much, especially since you're very rarely ever training fishing directly. But, you know, if you ever need the supplies, it'll be particularly good at milestone 8 and 9 when they are pretty expensive to go and buy. So if nothing else, maybe at those levels we would actually go and harvest a little bit more so we don't have to buy them from shops, as at that level range it'd probably be worthwhile too with all of the fishing bonus that we ultimately would end up having there. So hello Tyrion, welcome, Ballsman Wall. But yeah, let's go finish out Stone Monument right now, and then the entire stream is basically just going to be us trying to finish out Jade Monument. And that would, of course, completely finish out the monument for all the final rewards. The thing we're about to go do right now ends up giving us the salmon upgrade, which we won't need quite immediately. It actually shows we technically already have it. We actually don't. But, yeah, right now we'll be getting the salmon upgrade, and then, of course, we'll be getting the extra venture slot. And that's, of course, the whole reason why we even did this grind. We ended up AFKing a lot at the end of it, but we did, like, a whole month dedicated to the, you know, the rest of the progression. Technically, it was close to about a few solid weeks, but we get our little guardrail up there, and then, of course, we get our final lights at the next upgrade. And here, we also end up getting the salmon upgrades, as it says here. By repairing stage 19 of the monument, you have now unlocked extra spots where you can catch salmon. So now we have the maximum amount of fish in every possible location. Also, just to have a nice clean bank to go finish this out with, let me go and sell everything we currently have in here, as everything still left we do not need, as we've already completed them. So let me go get rid of absolutely everything, bring it over to the shop real quick, and then we'll have a nice clean bank going into the final stretch, where all we have to do now is just go get all of our jade pieces, and we would have a fully complete monument and never need to worry about it ever again. We technically won't have max forager yet. I guess we'll get that over time, as just as we grab some resources and everything. So hello Isabel as well. Welcome, all balls been well. Welcome. Right, let me get rid of all this junk. Don't need that. Get rid of the last of the monument pieces, which hopefully we can do in one inventory. Withdraw, monument, get rid of all that, get rid of all that. Okay, now we have a nice clean bank to go finish this with. Let's hopefully get an exact number as well near the end. Alright, there we go. Oh yeah, one thing I forgot to go check. When we were going through that animation and everything, one thing I forgot to check after. How many jade pieces do we need? We need a 660 stone. So that makes me think we're gonna need like 700, 720, something around there for jade. But we'll go check real quick, because I do need to know what that number is. It will take probably about closer to 2 hours, I would assume, to go get all those pieces. But then afterwards, we are 100% done with Monument. Let me go check. Sell. Even though I'm just checking how many we need. Yeah, 690, nice. 69. Yeah, we need to go get 690 of those. Oh yeah, I don't have a 5% right now, because I got the Fear Potion on. Let me go move that out real quick, so we can use Potion Math to keep track. Oh yeah, you can't actually do that, can you? That's weird. You can't, like, swap the potions in your potion belt. You can, like, unequip them and re-equip them to put them in the right order, but for whatever reason, you can't swap them currently. I assume they'll fix that at some point. But I always keep thinking that's a feature, and it's not. Oh, yeah, while I'm here, I should probably go get this legendary fish. Oh, no, we'll let it sit there for now. We'll watch the legendary fish as we go and finish this out. Alright, what do I need here? I'm looking for potion, and I'm looking just for the basic 5% or something. Oh yeah, we never did use our 14%. Our one singular 14% that we got from an enemy kill. Those are still just in there. Well, let me go get these. Shouldn't need that many, but that should be way more than enough. Not like we're going to use a ton of them. Definitely use a handful of them, but nothing that crazy. Alright, we're currently at a weird number as well for our knowledge points. I'm not even sure if I want to put it into this chapter. I guess I would put it in the Forager. It's just at this point we're better off since I'm not really in a rush to get to max. We're already... The thing that we're rushing to is level 42. So technically, I think I just put my XP into Alchemy today. Or cooking if we just don't feel like dealing with it, because cooking might be relevant soon and we're in a bit of a weird number. But I'll probably just put it into Alchemy. And the main reason I say that is the whole reason why we had to rush Forager up was to get to level tier 9 at level 42, AK level 492. However, now that we're at 492, we actually don't care what our Forager level is. We're just naturally going to get it maxed anyways, just from grabbing a bunch of stuff later down the line. So I technically don't need any more Forager XP anymore. At least in the sense of, you know, we're not rushing it up anymore. So because of that, that means we can go and start dumping it into something else from the chapter. We can also throw it into a different chapter. It's just more convenient to throw in the same chapter. So at this point, I would say alchemy is probably our highest priority. To some degree, I would say cooking. The only problem with that is we don't know what buffs they're going to be making to Chef in the near future. So we're kind of just going blind for upgrading that, in the hopes that it would be worth it. So, yeah, I'll probably just put it into alchemy since it has more of an immediate effect on us. Not to mention, it also has a tie-in with woodcutting. Alchemy is going to be buffing woodcutting, I believe, as early as next week, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's as early as next week. I need to go double check. But it's very, very soon, whatever it is. I forgot, how many pieces do I have to get? How are we distributing this? Because we're grabbing another 4 over there. What do I still need to get? I almost forgot how many we grab in our cycle. I kind of want to go for double starfish and almost just ignore these. But let's see, how many spare spaces do we have left? Yeah, we can grab 2 limpet and then just grab the rest and star, it looks like. Okay, I'm doing it correctly. So we're grabbing 6 star, 2 limpet. I'm fine with that. I need the stars more anyways. They're both made for good potions, but we just need the blue potion more than yellow on something like a cryonite. Or at least I assume we will. We'll need to see what the skill trees and everything else do later down the line. So speaking of skill trees, Old School RuneScape just announced for their league that they're doing in like a week from today, that they're going to be doing a giant skill tree for it. So that's going to be kind of interesting to see how that pans out. Because originally I was going to go into an all-in magic build because it's the one build we haven't really done, but they kind of went all over the place with this league as far as the skill tree, which kind of makes me excited to see what they'll ultimately do for, you know, Brighter Shores' skill tree down the line. Because I do like skill tree, I just feel like they get overly convoluted sometimes is the only big issue with them. That's one concern I'm going to have with that league, and one concern I still have with Brighter Shores whenever it comes out, is, you know, skill trees can be fun, but they can also be way too overly convoluted, especially casually. Obviously, if you're playing a bunch, it doesn't really matter as much. But, you know, skill trees can get very complicated very quickly, especially when you mess up your build, and it's like, oh no, I messed up my build. Obviously, respecking is normally a thing in most games that have skill trees, so it's not as big a deal. But, you know, it's never good, like, going down a build and then realizing, oh, I should have gotten this, this, and this instead. I don't know, we'll see how it pans out for both. The Brighter Shores is still, like, years away, probably from getting theirs. Probably a solid year, I would say. Honestly, I wouldn't even be surprised if we have Chapter 5 before we have Skill Tree in Brighter Shores. Who knows, maybe we'll come out the other way around. They might be saving Chapter 5 for closer to 1.0 release. But I have been enjoying the weekly stuff we've been getting every single time. Of course, most recently we end up getting the buffs to Leatherworker. Or actually, most recently we got the Easter event. But, you know, prior to that we got the buff to Leatherworker. And next week, I believe, is the buff to Woodcutting based on your alchemy level. So that's one of the other reasons why I'm going to be dumping my XP into alchemy. Is, hey, we might get some woodcutting assists there. I'm not sure if I'm going to go and train woodcutting based on that. Honestly, I'm probably going to wait until I have, like, level tier 9 alchemy before I do that. Which is even more of a reason to go dump all of our XP that we're getting today into alchemy. As, while I will be pivoting a little bit to Mind of Matubin, alchemy is still one of those really, really high priority skills we still want to be getting up. So I'm probably going to be doing a combination of Mind of Matubin and alchemy at the same time going forward. Dumping most of my XP onto Mind of Matubin unless I'm in Chapter 1 doing like the daily fish or something similar. That's also where I'm going to be taking my 2 ventures, by the way. I'll be taking the mining venture where they're extra spare. I forget if I ever mentioned this. I feel like I have a couple times. But initially, the main venture I'm going to be throwing into is double fish into Mind of Matubin. And eventually, we'll be pivoting into double merchant to be able to get all the alchemy supplies into one other one. Not sure what the other one would be at the time. But initially, we'll be doing double fish into mining. Main reason for mining is just to get away some of the deader levels. Once we're at some of the deader levels, like right now, we would end up switching off of it. I mostly just may be able to do iron. Like, I need like 5 mining levels, technically 4.5. After we get that, we could pivot that venture onto something else. But it's something to keep an eye on out, that we're going to have a 3rd venture slot. Because we got to use it a bit strategically here and there. And of course, I'll be away for like 3 months on the trip, so I'll be able to get a ton of XP during the venture. Actually, it's actually insane. Given that I'll be away for almost 3 months, let's just say 90 days. It's slightly under, but it's basically 90 days. If we go and calc that out, I believe I'm getting, just from having an extra venture slot, I believe we're getting something like 15 to 20 extra levels. Just for having this venture slot before the trip compared to after. We are getting something like 15 free levels, plus all the resources you would otherwise get from it. Like 15 to 20 levels. This is quite a lot. And that's just for the 3 months. That's not counting the rest of time. It is so powerful how much you get from an adventure slot. I'm really curious to see what they're going to do for other venture slots. Like, are one of them going to be unlocked from, like, a lot of points from dungeons or something similar? Because venture slots are so absurdly valuable. It's like dozens of levels per year for doing almost nothing. For just doing something for a minute that you were probably going to already be in game doing anyways. Or going by if you were just, you know, going by a bunch of areas. When do I leave? I'm leaving May 24th, and I'm not coming back till late August. I'll be away for what should be about 80-something days. Like 82, 83. But it could be a few extra just because the day before I'm probably not going to be able to do much. And a day or two after, you know, the trip I probably won't be able to do much. Between jet lag, all the unpacking. The fact that I would have flown for like 24 hours straight both times. Oh, we're maxed out. I should probably go drink the 10% now. Actually, let me go do it right now. It feels weird doing it like mid-cycle. But, what else is gonna feel weird? I gotta go put this on alchemy. Put that on alchemy. Sorry, Forager, you don't need it anymore. You reached your end goal. We no longer need, Forager XP. Even though we technically still need some Forager XP, but every important goal has been reached, so we don't really need it. Hello, Justin! Welcome, welcome. Why are we leaving? I'm going on a 3-month trip to Greece. It's my first time out of the country. But afterwards, we'll go back to doing every normal thing we normally do on the channel. But during that duration, I won't be able to do anything. Because he hates us? No. Oh no, this is my first, like, real vacation ever, pretty much. Like, you know, I've done, like, a couple day vacations and, like, a week-long vacation, stuff like that. But it's never been, like, out of the country or anything similar like that. They're still technically vacations, but this is what I would consider my first, like, real one ever. And overall price shouldn't even be that bad. Since I'm splitting rent with someone as well as, you know, groceries and everything. Like, it's gonna come down to only, like, about 1,000 euros a month. Or about, like, 1,200-ish dollars a month. It's not that bad. Because we're mostly just gonna be cooking all of our own food and everything. Getting it from local farmers markets, grocery stores, stuff like that. So food costs gonna be pretty low. Transportation costs gonna be pretty low. Hotel rent and all that's like literally just like paying for his rent basically. So that's gonna be pretty low. So I was surprised to hear how low rent is there. Because in euros, it was only like a couple hundred. Place he's currently staying at. Because the place I'm in right now, well, it is meant for like several people. It's still almost like 1,000 a month. Though we did buy, it's not renting though. I think it's like 800, 900 a month. The squishing noise? Yeah, the squishing noise is back. However, this is one of the last things we ever have to do that has the squishing noise ever. Because after today, yeah, there's pretty much nothing left. I guess technically fishing, but we almost never need to, like, manually fish because it gets covered by adventure. So today's pretty much the last day we ever have to hear the squishy noise. Unless we're collecting resources just for, you know, alchemy or something. Or for chef or something similar. But today's pretty much the last squishy noise day. At least as far as having the mass do it. Might have to pick up some supplies from the ground occasionally just to pick some stuff, or for nearby, or for doing it with combat or something similar. But otherwise, today's the last squish noise day. Because fishing is basically done and Forager is basically done. As fishing is just going to get maxed from Ventures for the most part, like 90% of it. And Forager after today, aside from what we do with combat synergy, is done. And most of that would be done off stream because it's pretty AFK. Like, you know, doing Death Crow, picking up 3 wall plants. Or doing the Hero Beast while picking up 3 water lilies, stuff like that. Killing the plants while picking up 3 potatoes, something similar. But most of that would be off stream just because it's really AFK to do. You can't stand it because it's distracting you while you work. Oh no, I don't find it that annoying of a noise, though today is technically the final day of it. Then we're stuck in the mines. Though I'm not sure how much of it I'll really be able to stream before I go, though. Both between Old School RuneScape's leagues, other things I need to get done before the trip. And, yeah, just between all that. I am not sure, how much I'll be able to do. Because I still have a bunch of freelance writing I need to get done before the trip, too, because I'm definitely not going to do it while I'm there. I technically could do it on my phone, it's just really annoying to type out all that on the phone. Like, the amount of extra mistakes I would make, especially with the weird autocorrect on phone, would just be way too slow compared to just doing it on keyboard while I'm here. I'm not sure how people, like, text on phone. I cannot stand it at all. Like, compared to normal typing, it feels so absurdly inefficient. But yeah, this grind that we're doing here did take us about a few weeks longer than I was initially anticipating. Because we were originally going to finish it out almost like a week after Slay the Spire 2. But between that and other things that came up, it was like, oh, I'm just going to passive it. So instead of finishing it within about like a week after that, we ended up like passiving it. And it ended up making it take like almost a month instead of a week. So almost 4 times as long. However, we barely had to do anything towards it. Like, the whole final stretch, I have, like, almost no resources. Like, if we go check this, like, if I go check my storage real quick, look at the disparity between a couple of these numbers. This is how little we had to do. Like, if I go check my reagent station, well, for one, look at how much higher our passes are for some of them. But also, look at how much lower some of these are. Like, our bell plant, only 288. Some of the more useful ones, like shell, it's as low as, like, our tier 4. That was, like, before the milestone update, pretty much. Same as tier 5. But, yeah, we only got 553, and some of those were from Death Crow, so we only got, like, 500-ish. Compared to, you know, like, 2,000, 3,500, 3,000, stuff like that. So we had to do, like, really little actual manual farming. It was all just passive. So, even though it took us, like, you know, 4 times longer, we had to do almost nothing for it. Like, we pretty much got it automatically. It's kind of nice. Plus, now we have all the passive supplies, so when we need to use that for the other passives, it'll be nice. Probably wouldn't need to use them for fishing. The few that we end up getting, those might just end up getting sold out. Though we could if we really wanted to push it at the end. However, the ones that'd be really useful is the alchemy ones near the end. As that whole area, I have all the potions we need already pre-bought to go do all this. So whenever we want to go and AFK the plus 10 boost potion, which is really, really good. That's something you would even do potentially post-max. It is so strong. But it's the plus 10 boost potion, or, you know, post 2 times bonus, I mean. The 14% for the chapter, stuff like that. We would end up getting from it, which is nice. And they're already all banked, so we don't even need to buy any necessarily. Unless we want to do, like, beyond the 2 times bonus, which we might want to, honestly. Some of those potions are really good. Like, the plus 10 boost potion, be able to use that early, is so absurdly strong. I wish I had, like, thousands of them. It's probably one of the only few things in the player market that actually sells for something good. Or, like, those really high boost potions. Not sure if the highest one would, just because its cost to value ratio might be a little bit worse. But every single one of those really high boost potions, like plus 5 or higher, must be worth like a pretty penny if trading was enabled. Of course, we're still playing Lone Wolf, so no trading. If we want them, we gotta get them ourselves. But they're so strong that I wouldn't be surprised if people have, like, multiple alt accounts doing it. Like, if they literally have... I'm not sure if that's even allowed, though. Since you're technically not allowed to do multi-boxing. But as long as you're doing them one at a time, I'm not sure if that is or is not allowed. Like, if someone had, like, 30 accounts all running the AFK passive potion. Because that must generate so much money. For people that need to buy it, or just for yourself. Oh, someone said something. Let's see. Hello, Buggas again. Welcome, welcome. Well, accept your friend request. Yeah, I need to go clear some people, but yeah, I can try getting new people on. Did you send one yet? Which one is you? Well, obviously Buggas. I don't have one currently, but yeah, you can send it and I'll go and accept it. And you go clear my friends list soon. We're back at 200 again. I need to go through and just go and, like, completely purge, like, the most inactive, like, 25% or something. Because I barely purged this since, like, ever. We still have people from, like, first week. Hello, Peter! You'll send one now? Nice. Oh, backpack is full. I guess throw it away. There it is. Accept. There we go. Got you in. Alright, let me go purge a few. You can do it based on lowest now, so let me go check real quick. How do I do this? I go to friends, I go to total level. Alright, let's get rid of, Shaggy, Duffel, and Dirk. Actually, I'm going to do Dirk and Duffel since they should be next to each other, and then we can just remember Shaggy. But here, Dirk and Duffel. Wait, can I just kick them from here? No. I wish you could. I can block them. But no. Dirk, Duffel, and Shaggy. Dirk and Duffel. Dirk and Duffel. Because I believe this one's in alphabetical order. Let's see. Dirk. Duffel. Duffel. Somewhere's in here is a Duffel. Oh wait, because it's all separated, it's in a different location. And then Shaggy. Shaggy. I'm just gonna have to keep doing that whenever we want to add more people. Just whoever's, like, mega inactive, because that's the only way I can kind of tell if someone hasn't been playing. I hate having to do it based on, like, level. But since there's not, like, a last played, like, you know, 2 months ago, 10 months ago, a year and a half ago, I have to do it basically based on level. Is the only way I can kind of tell if someone's played recently, basically. So I'm just going to start whenever we need to add more people, just purging whoever's at the lowest level on our list. Which is not the most ideal way of doing it, but with the current system in the game is about the only way I can kind of do it. But some of those are, like, absurdly low levels. Like, levels you could reach in, like, the first week or two of playing, which most of them were added then, which makes sense. Yep, no problem. Yeah, if anyone ever wants to add me, if you're watching now or after the fact, yeah, just let me know. I can try to get you on. Because I need to purge, like, 50% of my list anyways. Try to get people who are actually active on it. Because most of our friends list was done during the first, like, you know, few weeks of the game. Hey, Grizzly Bear. Doesn't he run a trading YouTube thing? He does, like, the exact opposite playstyle as us. I believe he's, like, one of the biggest traders in the entire game. Like, his whole thing is trading. I believe he's the one who also hosts the flea markets during, Chronopolis. Or, you know, the trading markets and everything. Hello, Sani! Thank you for the continued support. Greatly appreciated. Hello, Blue Turtles. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Oh, yeah, also, all Gems of War people, by the way. I did get a special code for the 10-year anniversary of the channel. We'll be handing it out on, the first Guild War day, which is also the anniversary of the channel day. During the day, I'll probably be doing the league for Old School RuneScape, but at our normal time at night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we'll have the special code and do our 10-year anniversary celebration and everything. And of course, we'll have Guild War that day too, which will be fun. It's actually the first day of the Guild War too, which is nice. It's Sword's Edge Guild War. Unfortunately, a really bad category though. But these will be interesting since it won't be like free like the last few Guild Wars have been. It'll actually be a challenge. It's not just like auto win every battle. I can't believe it's been 10 years already. It's actually crazy. I started it just randomly during college. And, yeah, it's already been 10 years. Gosh, time has flown by. I keep forgetting to grab this limpet. There we go. Also, I've not been keeping track of how many jade pieces we've been getting. However, I know for sure it's going to take at least 2 hours of collecting. So at this point, at the 2-hour mark of the stream, I'll go check it and we'll still be short, so... I'm not too worried about overshooting it. How much are these worth if we do overshoot them? They're probably not worth anything crazy, but the only thing you can do with them is sell them. Let me see. They are worth... Yeah, they're not even worth 4 silver each. That's so low. There's something else we still got to figure out with our gold. I still got to figure out how I want to allocate it. At this point, I guess we're just kind of bounty spamming with them. Especially when we get to the golden marks at a given bounty tree. Because for the final stretch of stonemason, we can do it. And for the current stretch of smithing, we can do it. And I believe those pretty much break even, so we don't even need to burn money then. It's something I've been considering doing with smithing. I also want to have like a smithing day soon. Or all we do is like contract for smithing the entire day. Sometime before the trip. Because aside from the weekly videos, it's probably going to be the only extra stream we do for Brighter Shores unless something else comes up. Like between now and then, the only extra content stream we'll probably do is like one smithing day or something. But of course today being the Forager day. To go just finish it out already. And then we'll be gone for 3 months, and then after we come back, pretty much every day that I have free once I come back, we'll probably do a different update day. Since they're going to be releasing at least 12 updates while I'm gone. That'd basically be 2 weeks of us just covering updates. Unless we combine some of them together. But I might just do them one at a time. Because I believe I can get the screenshots from their website. Or worst comes to worst, maybe I'll save it on my phone and then send it to my email or something. In case they take them down. I don't think they ever do, though. I never really keep track of that much, though. Actually, let me go check right now. If I go check the Brighter Shores website, do they still have Google Brighter Shores website? Does their news page still go back like several months? Because then I don't need to go and preemptively store them all. Oops, I like way overshot. News. Latest news. Oh yeah, it keeps going all the way back. Yeah, it goes all the way back. Okay, I don't need to worry about pre-downloading them then. Because I like using those as a thumbnail since they're already making a pretty nice graphic for it. So it's like, we'll just use that for a thumbnail. But yeah, they already have saved back all the way from since they've been starting to do them. Which was with the fishing monument update thing. Though I did notice while I was there, some of those weren't saved though. Like the milestone update day? Let me see. Maybe it was under a different category. Because I'm now... oh, no. The image for that was still there. Okay, yeah. All of them have been saved to their website. Alright, nice. Yeah, their website's actually kind of useful. But yeah, it has the nice little graphic that they did for all the thumbnails for every single patch. But yeah, it's saved like all the way down to like forever. So if I'm away for 3 months, I'll still be able to go grab them. Then I don't need to like preemptively save them. So I keep forgetting to drink EXP pots. The last one I drank was a 10%, meaning I haven't drank a single 5% since we started. Like I drank one, because we started with 400, and we somehow have only drank one in that time. So currently our 5% and 11% ratio are exactly the same. How'd that end up working out? So that's something we haven't done in game for a very long time, ever since all the other bounties have come out. I have not done chef bounties in like 2 months. You can kind of tell by the fact we're still at like level 48. I'm not sure why I just kept not doing chef bounties, but we're at the point where I haven't touched them in so long. Like some of the other milestones I wanted to get done by the time we hit this point, I actually didn't get done. I wanted to get milestone 5 cooking, I'm 2 levels off. I wanted to get milestone 20 combat, we're 30 levels off. And that's it. Those are the only 2 things I wanted to get done that we didn't. Everything else I did want to get in there, we did. Also because I keep getting distracted by whatever the newer thing they keep adding to the game is. Being higher priority. Because now that they're doing a chain reaction through like every single skill. Because one thing that we're going to be able to do starting next week is training mining off of wood cutting boosting into it. We don't know exactly how much of a boost that's ultimately going to be. But it might be worthwhile to at least get tier 9. But it might be worthwhile just to go all the way just so we have all the supplies we need for smithing and stonemason. Which is one of the reasons why the title says, and I'm still contemplating if we go all in on Mind of Batubin then. Because pretty much everything's going to be aligning for it very, very soon. Just go all in on Mind of Batubin. They're going to have a bounty for nearly every skill other than mining, which is the main one that doesn't need one. So by like early May, they'll have one for every single thing. Mining will be boosted in speed. Other things will feed into other stuff, like smithing feeding into alchemy, I believe it was. So by that point, yeah, we're pretty much at the point where you just go all in and just max it out. Especially since a lot of the passives there are really good. Particularly the bone right ones that are always good at every level range. But also whenever you can do the other ones. Like for example, tonight I'll probably be doing the smithing bounty now that we don't need Forager anymore. I'm probably going to be putting that into smithing. Because we have one of them that are free. If we have any of the supplies for mining, obviously we'll use those as well. Otherwise, we'll just do the free ones when they come up. Which, unfortunately, for smithing only has 2, and for mining or smithing... sorry, for stonemason only has 2. For mining only has 1, technically 2. It has 1 because the only one is that's frees the horseshoes. But technically has 2 because we did do the forager grind, and in doing the forager grind we have scrap metal. So we could use scrap metal for those. So even though there's only 1 free one, they both technically have 2 the way that we end up going about it. But there's still a lot of dead areas where they just do not end up getting that much. Just because of how much mining you tend to do in between everything. Because mining's not that good to go in passive. You normally want to actually train it so you can get all the ores and stones that you need for everything. Like, you still passive it some, but you generally... it's better to manually train it. Whereas production skills tend to be the ones that are better to passive. Same as Forager. What's one bad thing about rushing Forager up is it's not a particularly good one to do passives for. You generally want to be doing passives on production skills that are harder to train. The main ones being things like alchemy, carpenter, everything from Mind of Batubin other than mining and leatherworker are generally your biggest targets for throwing passives on. Obviously, you can do other passives too. But they are the most useful ones just because the passives or the production skills are the hardest generally to train up. Just because they require so many other resources and everything. Though they do match up a little bit better ever since Milestones update. There's one thing that Milestones did fix quite a bit. Is the amount of XP that you get, for example, from maxing out woodcutting. Is very comparable to the amount of XP you need for Carpenter, so on and so forth. I still don't think it's exactly 1-to-1, but it's a lot closer after Milestone update than it was beforehand. As far as all of the levels aligning and everything like that. Alright, let's go use the bigger potion. Go dump this into Alchemy instead of Forager. Which will also get us to the new Fire Potion if we want to go do that. It's a really good EXP rate as well. So I might actually want to consider doing that some later. If I'm not mistaken, it's actually the highest yielding EXP potion in the entire game relative to the level range that you get it at. As it's basically the best EXP potion from level 16 all the way until like 46 or 43, somewhere around there. Like, it's insane how long it stays your best EXP yielding potion. Actually, it might even be the highest out of the entire tier just because it gives such low knowledge. If I'm not mistaken, I think this one's actually higher. Like, this one is 31.8. And this one is 31.8. Yeah, it pretty much stays the entire highest until 43. It goes all the way until 43. Is this one lower or higher? Yeah, that one's even lower. So it's basically on par with the 43 potion, but you get access to it at 16. The biggest issue with it, though, is you can only get the supplies from Forager. You cannot buy it from a shop. It's one of the reasons I made sure to get slightly more rack and nettle this final cycle. Even when I finish out the rest of this XP, I might even throw it into it. Oh, we even got a thingy I need to go do for alchemy. Didn't realize we unlocked that as well. New passive. I guess we'll put our next knowledge point onto that. But yeah, it is insane how strong that potion is. But it's one of the untradeable ones. Or, you know, unbuyable from shop ones. which is one of the reasons why its XP yield is so absurdly strong. Is because you're forced to have to go and get the supplies for it. Either from trading other players or getting it yourself. But someone has to get the supplies. Either buying it from someone who has, or you yourself getting them. And while we didn't get like a crazy amount from doing Forager, because they weren't really that good for XP for Forager, we got more than 0, so we'll be able to throw some of them down if nothing else. So one nice thing about having to do Jates here, we are picking up a lot of starfish that I otherwise wouldn't have picked up in the past, which is really nice, just to not need to worry about it. Now, let's remember to actually drink XP pots. Because I've drank so few so far. It's not making that big a difference, but, you know, it starts adding up. We still need a max Forager at some point, even though it's not going to be high priority. It might honestly take a few weeks before I go max Forager at this point. Even though we're only 7.5 levels away. Just because the only Forager I'll be doing between now and it being max is just Forager where we're 0 timing resources. So if I'm doing combat, I'll be grabbing some resources here and there. If I'm walking by to go do something in this chapter, you know, I'll throw a few resources here and there. But beyond that, I'm not actually training at all, or dumping knowledge into it, or doing passives for it. So, it's going to be in a really weird in-between. Where we're kind of just going to ignore it, even though it's like a few levels away from max. Just because the whole reason for getting it and rushing it up was to get to level 42. But now that we're here, there's not much of a reason to get it any higher. Other than, I guess, a few leaderboard positions, but we don't really care about that too much. Actually, where are we right now? Because we could probably see the top of leaderboard. I didn't even think about that. We could probably see the next position. Yeah, we can. Like, the only benefit we would get from maxing out Forager now is we would get a slightly better position locked in. And that's it. Which I don't really care about. Like, would be like rank 173 or so instead of like 200 or 250 or whatever it'd be by the time we get it. That's literally the only difference. So, yeah, we don't really need to worry about it. We'll just get it up when it gets up there. And the only thing we'll lose is like 20 ranks or something. But that would be cool if we could get exactly on 200 or something. Get it like a nice clean number. Because whatever number we get it at should technically permanently stay at that number. So we should try to get it at a cool one, I guess. Yeah, maybe I'll try to get it at 200. 169 would have been a funny one, but it's already taken. Hello, Jets! Thank you, thank you. Watching early access for Forza Horizon 6 gameplay. Nice, nice. I'm not sure what other games I'm still hyped for this year. Because one of the biggest ones that I was for was Slay the Spire 2. But until they add more content and release 1.0, I've pretty much done everything I want to do with that game. I still play around every so often. Like the other night, I did like an Ascension 10, what's it called, run? Defect run. But beyond that, yeah, I haven't really been touching it much. But I'm not sure what other game I'm really looking forward to this year. I think Pokemon released their Pokemon Champions thing recently, but, I don't know, I've kind of gotten past my Pokemon kick. We got into it, like, absurdly so for about a year. And now I've kind of been just not into anything Pokemon again. Maybe in another 5 or 10 years I will again. But no, we got, like, absurdly into it for about a year, year and a half. I think my biggest issue is mostly just game integrity for a game like that. It's what kind of got me back into MMOs a little bit. Is we started doing Pokemon for a while, and then it's like, oh, everyone literally just hacks and cheats and everything. So what's the point of shiny hunting and everything else if everyone's just going to hack it in within minutes? Whereas MMOs generally don't really have that many exploits. And any that ever exist generally get patched within, like, hours or get rolled back or anything similar. Whereas Pokemon, it's literally just bugs and glitches and everything everywhere. And people just hacking in everything. The game integrity is like nearly non-existent. A Pokemon MMO I feel like would be a lot of fun though. Like if they actually had game integrity with it and did it as an MMO style. Like something like that I would like. But it would have to be official, not like the unofficial Pokemon MMO that I think actually does exist. But if an actual official good one came out that had game integrity, I would play that like crazy. As long as they don't monetize it like crazy. Which you know they're going to, though. That's the only problem with a hypothetical Pokemon MMO that's like official. Is you know they're going to monetize it like crazy. That's the only big downside. Is it would probably be a very pay-to-win MMO. Which is the type of MMO I pretty much never play. Because Old School RuneScape, Brighter Shores, and quite a few others, as long as you play like an Iron Man style account, you can never buy power. And MMOs like that I tend to prefer. Which is why I normally go to Iron Man, or, you know, Lone Wolf, or whatever the equivalence is in any given game. Because otherwise they normally have some kind of system where you can end up buying power. Like with RuneScape, you just buy bonds and just get infinite money. Or if you want to do it illegally, buy gold from gold traders and then buy infinite power that way either. But regardless, you have a way to buy power. Whereas on Iron Man, there's no way to do so. No, I hate when I misclick that. Gosh, these hitboxes. Also, could they make this any more of a spec at the final level? I understand what they're going for, in that as the milestone pieces upgrade, they keep getting smaller and smaller, so they're harder to gather, aka why you need a higher forager level to be able to pick them up. But, gosh, they're like a single pixel. They're getting so small. They are getting so absurdly small. Yeah, currently the only difference between Lone Wolf and trading enabled in Brighter Shores is you can trade with other players. But there's so little economy that it doesn't affect too much at the moment, but probably would in the future. The most useful thing you can use it for now is buying a bunch of resources in bulk if you don't want to gather it yourself, which is really useful for. And the other thing it's pretty useful for is buying mass potions, because you basically have a static amount of potions in this game. It's a little bit weird with how it's currently set up. Not sure if they're going to change that in the future. But let's say hypothetically you max your alchemy level. The amount of potions you have is basically the total potions you're ever going to have, unless you're going to make potions for 0 XP gain. Whereas if you have trading enabled, you can just buy your potions from other people and not need to worry about it. Can you buy monument pieces? I believe you can. I'm not sure exactly how it works with trading enabled for that. Because in the past, I thought you could just buy them up, but it seems like you might actually require the level. I could have sworn at one iteration of this game you were able to go and put them in without having the level requirement. But I think these days you do, so buying monument pieces wouldn't really help that much. It would make it so you wouldn't have to do the grind we're doing right now, but in total it would only save like 20-30 hours, I think, or something like that. Because I'm pretty sure it still requires the level requirement to put them in. So it's only going to really cost you like the 20, 30-ish hours of gathering them all through all the stages. Probably close to like 30 or 40, actually. It's only saving like 30, 40 hours or something. And the amount that would cost would probably be pretty high because they got to buy it from the shop. Because once you've done a tier, you could buy it from the shop and then bank it right next to it. And then you would trade it over to someone. But that would cost like dozens upon dozens of gold just to save like 30-ish hours. For some people it might be worth it, but I don't know, if you already have to get the Forager level anyways, it doesn't really feel like it's that worth it. Like if you could do it without the Forager level, it would 100% be worth it without question. But the fact that I'm pretty sure you still need the Forager level means, yeah, you get very little value from it, since you still need the XP from these anyways. But it really comes down to if saving like 30, 40 hours is worth it to someone, for however much the gold cost is to buy it from someone. Plus, you'd have to have someone who's willing to buy it for you. Which I'm not sure how many people are doing that, but I assume there's not that many. Because it assumes they have at least this level Forager, which there are only 174 in the entire game. Plus they have trading enabled, which is only like 50 people in the game. So there's only like 50 people who could even sell it to you if you were to do something like that in the current state of the game. Is they would have to have the Forager level we have right now and have trading enabled, which is like 40 or 50 people in the whole game. And then it'd have to be willing to go spend like an hour or two to go buy all the pieces to go sell to you. It's not like they could buy it instantly. They gotta buy them 24 at a time. Luckily, it's a few steps from a storage rift. So it doesn't take that long, but it still takes a solid hour or two to buy that many. Yeah, it took us basically a month to get Max Forager. We started at like tier 4. It was our lowest level skill and then became our highest level skill. And it still is our highest level skill, not counting combat, because combat's calculated differently. But it went from our lowest, which was like level 205, all the way to our highest, which is now level 400 and soon to be 93. So within about a month, plus all the passives that we did. Because we did about like 3 solid weeks of like mega grind and then passived it for about a month. So technically it took 2 months. But if we were to keep grinding, it would have taken a little over a month to get where we wanted to. If we were to do it all consecutively. Which isn't too bad for how big the upgrade is. There's not many skills I would do this for without just doing it naturally over time. But this is one of the few that felt worth rushing just for the extra venture slot. And I will for whatever the other 3 venture slots are. I don't care what it is. We will grind it to the ends of the earth until it is finished. Like if one of them is like go get 1 million dungeon points or something when dungeons come out, we are getting those 1 million dungeon points or whatever the equivalence of such a system will be. Like whatever the requirements is for any of these, we will go do immediately. As quickly as we possibly can because their value over time is just insane. Unfortunately, it's going to take forever for my alt accounts to get there. Currently, I'm kind of have my alt accounts working on tier 3 all. But at some point, I really should start pivoting them to Forager. The only problem is they gotta go and get all the monument pieces. So on top of all the Forager grind, they also have to spend like the 30, 40 hours we were just talking about picking up stones. Which could be 30, 40 hours we're spending on the main account. It's the only problem with getting them another venture. Then if I got every venture unlocked on every account, that would start adding up. Like taking on 1 account's not that bad, it's gonna take you like a few minutes. But taking on 3 accounts, you know, that's like 10 to 15 minutes a day. That you'd be spending just going through all the ventures. Plus resetting the daily thingy. Yeah, I would love to see repeatable bosses. That's something I would probably grind to the ends of the earth as well. Especially if they add like good cosmetics and stuff and other things for like certain kill counts. Like if they had a pet that's like guaranteed or has a % chance of dropping at, you know, after you do X amount of kills or whatever. I am hoping most cosmetics are guaranteed after a certain kill count, though. Not sure if they're going to pull the community eventually on that or something. But I am a lot more in favor of something like, hey, you get this pet at exactly 10,000 kill count or something, or 5,000 kill count, or 3,000 or 1,000, whatever. Instead of, oh, this thing is like a 1 in 2,500 rate, good luck. Because that way you know, like, if you see someone with the pet, it's like, oh yeah, they killed that, like, you know, 10,000 times or something. Compared to if it's like a 1 in 3,000 drop, it's like, oh, they could have killed it once, or they could have killed it 20,000 times. I have no clue. Oh no, we'll see how exactly they end up doing it. But I'm hoping they have some stuff for like crazy KC numbers that, or like pets, cosmetics, stuff like that. I really like when bosses drop a cosmetic for, like that's guaranteed after X kills that is like an upgrade visually to something it already does. Like maybe its main thing you seek out from the boss is like a 1 in 250, some kind of sword or crafting material or whatever. But, you know, if you kill that boss like 5,000 times, you get like a special visual version. And since they love tiers so much, they could do multiple tiers as well. Like you get one tier at 500, another at 2,000, another at 5,000, whatever numbers they end up making it. They definitely love their tier systems, that's for sure. This game is getting very tier heavy, which I don't necessarily mind. To some degree, old school RuneScape's like that too. They just hide it a little bit more. Because Bronze to Rune, or even Bronze to Dragon, is literally just a tier system. It's just not numbered. But it's literally just a tier system for armor. It just doesn't have a number next to it. Oh, so did I miss a piece? Why am I have such a weird number right now? I should have a full inventory, but I'm off by 1. Yeah, the dopamine of a drop is nice. The problem is going on like mega ultra dry streaks, which is really bad. Like I know one that's happened from that hardcore bingo thing. There's someone who started a relatively newer account from when their hardcore died from last hardcore bingo or whatever it died from, I can't remember. But they're currently doing some kind of demon thing, demonic or TDs, tormented demons. But basically, it drops a very, very important weapon that is used against every demon boss in the game. And they are currently 5 times over drop rate. And they've been posting every week their dry streak just increasing. It's actually what made me quit Old School RuneScape for a little while too, because I went about 2,000 without green logging them. But he went like 2,500, which is 5 times over drop rate. It's a 1 in 500 drop without getting a single one, which is absolutely crazy. Like, I quit from my dry streak from not having it by, like, 2,000. And he's at, like, 2,500 with 0, and you need 3 of them. It's dry streaks like that that makes me kind of hate stuff like that. Like, when stuff isn't guaranteed after, like, a certain amount. Because you can get some really, really, really dumb dry streaks if you go unlucky enough. And it's not too big a deal if it's just for a cosmetic or something. But when it's for something that's like literally important to progress the game, it becomes kind of a problem. Like an item you literally have to have in order to progress at all. You go like 5 times, 10 times dry or something similar. Or something that should have taken like a 10 or 20 hour grind turns into like a year-long grind. With how dry some people can go. Alright, this time I got the correct number. We can tell because we have 7 inventory left here, which is enough for the 3 starfish plus the stones. I must have missed a stone or something. Not too big a deal, though. Alright, what are we at right now? We're almost at the first hour mark. At the second hour mark, we'll go check how many jade pieces we have. As by that point, we should have enough. We should have our 690 by then. Nice. They picked the perfect number to end on. Oh, so this should be the only forager level we get this stream. I don't think we're going to get enough for the other level. The other 7 I'm going to be doing over a long period of time, over the next, like, month. We'll do it while we do combat synergy. We'll do it while we do other stuff. Probably no rush to get those other 7 levels, because we're not unlocking anything from it, other than the keep that we're never going to wear. I guess maybe we get endless bounties if they were out, but they're not out, so that doesn't mean anything. So we get literally nothing from it. So I'm not in a particular rush to get the final 7. Getting to 42 mattered because we needed to pick up these monument pieces, but everything beyond that really does not matter at all. The only exception to that is if we ever get bone right really high, we're going to need the bones from the bone zone. But we are a little ways away from that. Even if we do go all in on there, we're not going to need that for a good, like, month. Because I don't think we're getting bone bounties until, like, early May. So I have, like, a month before I need to worry about that. I think it comes out, like, May 5th. I forget the exact date. I think it was May 5th, though. So we got, like, a month before we need to worry about that at all. By then, we should have scrapped together a few Forager levels, I would assume. But yeah, we are getting to the point where almost every major goal that we need to have done has kind of been done, though. There's still some stretch goals, like obviously maxing and stuff like that. But the really, really important ones that we still need done are finish Monument, which we're doing today. Max out Alchemy, so we have all those potion buffs, which we'll be doing probably after my trip. That's one of the things we'll probably be prioritizing after the trip. Like in September or October, around then. Have like a whole month dedicated to just maxing out Alchemy already. Or something similar along those lines. Beyond that, the only other really important thing is max Mind of Matubin then. So that we have all the supplies for making max weaponry for when special attacks and everything come into the game. But then we're basically done. Monument will be done today. Alchemy will be done after the trip probably. Relatively soon after. And then Mind of Matubin will be done throughout that time to go get all max. And then we'll have max potions, max weapons, and max monument. AKA max dailies. So everything that's important would be max. Obviously, there'd still be stuff not max, but everything that's important for progression in the game would be done. All dailies would be maxed, all, which is what Forager does. All potions would be maxed, so whenever we drink a potion, it'll be the best one. And all weapons would be maxed, so when they finally add skill tree, special attacks, everything else will be good to go. We'll be able to be in all best in slot for whatever we need ever. And that's every important one. Obviously, there's some other stuff that can help us, but they're not really as important. Though Chef might be at some point, but in the current state of the game, Chef isn't. But Chef might be as good as Alchemy at one point. It currently isn't, but a patch might eventually do that at some point. But Woodcutting, Carpenter, Botanist, they only save you money. They don't actually do anything in the current state of the game for the most part, other than feed into some other things to speed them up a little. Like Woodcutting's going to be speeding up Smithing, I believe, or something? Or was it the other way around? I can't remember. But it's doing something in the near future. Oh no, I think it was for Alchemy. I think it was some kind of synergy that way. I can't remember. I need to go double check the list because it's not out yet. But aside from stuff like that, they don't really do anything in the current state of the game other than to save you money. There's things we'll eventually want to get up but aren't like particularly high priority. Though if we ever do eventually max in this game, I would sure hope that there's repeatable content in the game by then. Either dungeons, repeatable bosses, or something. Because aside from keeping up with dailies, I would probably like full quit until they start adding something like that. Once we max. Not until then. Because aside from just checking up on dailies, there'd pretty much be nothing else we'd really need to do other than just get big gold stack, I guess. That are just drown ourselves in like infinite potions in the bank or something. Because there's no infinite grind to really do once you hit max level in the current state of the game. Unless you just want to make money go up or something. Or just get like infinite potions for the future. Like literal tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands. Because we would eventually reach that point if dungeons are not out by then. I would assume dungeons are out by then because I'm not leveling that quick to be able to outpace the development of the game. Because dungeons are probably coming out later this year, I would assume. And there's no way we're maxing by the end this year. There's zero chance we end max by the end this year. We'll be very high level, but definitely not max. Though the max category is starting to get higher, though. We got like 9 people, I think, max right now. Yeah, about to be. You could basically say Ozo's max. We have 9 people in the game basically max right now. And of course, that's slowly starting to trickle in. So it's getting to the point where it's actually like a portion of the player base now. Like before it was like an outlier, like, oh, there was like 1 or 2. But with how small the player base is, there's actually a percent higher than 0 that has now hit max level. Like almost 1% of the player base is max level now. And by the end of the year, it'd probably be a few percent. Assuming they don't add Stonewall Hill by then. Which is going to be kind of funny to see what happens when they do that. Like, is everyone just going to rush everything to 500? Because some people won't have anything else to do necessarily at the time. Especially if hypothetically dungeons aren't out by then. So it's just going to be a bunch of max people just maxing out every skill again. Because by then, honestly, by the time Stonewall Hill comes out, there will be over 20 max people. Which means those 20 could just take all the 21st ranks for everything. Since they have literally nothing left to do in the game other than do Stonewall Hill by that point when it comes out. Like, the only grind they will have is just do nothing but Stonewall Hill until it's done. I don't know, we'll just have to wait and see in the future. That's one nice thing kind of about where my 3-month trip is right now as well. Is it seems like the entire trip is going to be during the, them still doing like the standard weekly stuff. Like, you know, trying to add bounties, trying to do interconnectivities. So by the time I get back, they're pretty much going to be done with that and probably moving on to something else. Like maybe finally refining combat or finally working on dungeons or something similar. So the 3-month that we're taking away is actually going to be like perfectly aligned with this game. Even though it wasn't ever really intended to. Because my biggest concern is like, oh no, they'll release dungeons or something amazing while I'm gone. But their current schedule for content seems like they're trying to get out every bounty and every interconnectivity to a skill. They're basically trying to connect every skill to at least one other skill, while also trying to get bounties out for every skill. There seems to be the 2 biggest things they're working on right now, and that's going to take them months. Because they're not even like a third the way through either of the 2 systems that they're trying to do. Which seems like what they're going to be doing for most of the summer, I would assume. Even though they haven't said it, the current roadmap seems to very much point in that direction. Where the main things that we're going to be getting over the next like 3 to 5-ish months is going to be bounties for every skill, interconnectivity between every single skill, at least one skill connecting to another skill until it fills an entire loop into a giant circle. And then, you know, like 3 to 5 quests in that time. The next one coming out, I believe next week, right? In like a week or 2. I think it's 2 weeks from now, actually. We're getting the first ever 7-star quest for in the game. It's going to be for Mind of Batubin. We don't know what the requirement is, but a safe bet is get milestone 2 in every single thing in Mind of Batubin. I actually have my alt accounts working on that right now. These are still not at milestone 2 for a couple things. Like right now they're working on smithing and stonemason. But, yeah, we don't know exactly what's going to entail. As it's the first 7-star quest ever, so we don't know how the requirements are going to be. We also don't know what kind of rewards it's going to be. Because it should be a pretty substantial quest if they're making it the first ever 7-star. Where am I going for the trip? I'm going to be going to Greece. It'll be the first time I'm ever out of the country for a while. I technically went to Toronto, Canada a few times, but it was always with like family or something similar. It's my first solo trip ever out of the country. It's also my first ever overseas trip. Because for something like Canada, you know, you could literally just drive into it. And most of the time I went there, I did just drive into it. But, this will be the first time I'm ever flying overseas. And it's going to be about for about 3 months or so. Yeah, really looking forward to the trip. Luckily I have a bunch of stuff in the next month and a half to keep me occupied. If ever visiting the Netherlands? Nice, is that where you're at? Yeah, if I'm ever going to be traveling somewheres, I'm definitely going to just be staying with a friend whenever I go somewheres. Like, if I was to ever go with Japan, I know 2 people from Japan, and one of them I might just stay with. Because it gets so expensive if you don't stay with someone. Like, if you start, like, trying to, like, do it through, like, a hotel or something similar. Or an Airbnb or, you know, something like that. if we were to do it for like a month or multiple months. Whereas what I'm effectively paying for a quote-unquote hotel, or, you know, like, rooming. As far as how much I'm spending for a room, I'm spending, like, less than 600 euros for 3 months. Like, that is so cheap. I'm not sure if you can stay anywhere in America for under 1,000 for 3 months. Like, the area I live in now, if you were to do a hotel for a week, it would already pretty much be that much. After this room, we gotta remember to use our knowledge point. Yeah, this whole trip in total should be a bit under $4,000, I believe. After all expenses and everything. Which is not that bad for 3 months. I feel like some people can spend that in a week. But I'm being pretty frugal with a lot of things, so it isn't as much. I also got the plane ticket before the oil price hike. Like, literally the day before. Because I saw the war was starting, I was like, oh, do the ticket right now. Like, compared to current prices, I think I saved like $500 on the plane ticket. Because I bought it literally the night the war was starting. Before any oil prices had a chance to hike. Or any plane prices were adjusted for it. Oh yeah, that's still covering food as well. Or most of these are going to be doing it through groceries and farmers markets. Because they have some farmers markets there, they can get stuff pretty cheap, pretty fresh. And then we're just pretty much just cooking everything. I'll probably still eat out occasionally for some stuff. But like, most of the time I'm there, like 90% is just going to be cooked at home. So that'll save a lot of money over time. I'm also staying not in a touristy area. Like, I'm not staying in Athens. Like, I'll be going to Athens, but I'm not staying in Athens during my trip. So I'm not really in, like, a really touristy area, so it doesn't really have, like, tourist pricing. It has more, like, local pricing for everything. So that saves a lot of money as well. Because I'll be staying in an area that doesn't really have any tourist traps or anything similar. Like, I'll be close enough to Athens to go to Athens, but not so close that everything will be like Athens pricing. Yeah, the main thing I'm looking forward to for Greece food is definitely gyros. I haven't had a good one since I was last in Canada. Because any that I've had in the United States since then just haven't really been that good. Mostly because goat meat isn't really something that America has a lot of. Like, goat and sheep is pretty uncommon. You have to go to really specialty places, generally, to get it to any degree, even in America. Like, to even find it, you have to almost go to a specialty place. And to find it well isn't as common compared to somewhere like Greece. Has a ton of goat. The only thing that the United States tend to mass produce is chicken, pigs, and cows. Because there's probably like a dozen places I could technically get a gyro near me, but they're not going to be that good. Like, they'd be like average at best. But yeah, a lot of other Greek food I haven't actually tried before. I'm sure much I will once I'm there. Because aside from gyros and Greek salads and Greek yogurt, there's pretty much nothing I've really had that's like Greek related that I've actually ever tried before. Like as far as like most of their cuisine and dishes and stuff like that. Yeah, it's gonna be a really nice trip. I'm just hoping some medical stuff just doesn't get in the way. Because I have a bunch of stuff I'm trying to fit in before the trip. And there's also been something that's been acting up that I might honestly need to go see a doctor while I'm there just to go get checked since I'm there for so long. Though in all fairness, I probably trust the Greek doctor more than I trust the American healthcare system. So if I do need to get anything done there, not only would it probably be cheaper, I would probably trust them more than the average doctor in this area. That is something I've considered for some procedures and stuff in the past as well that I haven't yet ever done. Is look into things that are like so much cheaper to do outside of America. Because all the dental I got done in the last 3 years, I probably could have gotten like 50% cheaper in like almost any other country that isn't America. And it probably would have been similar quality. The only big issue is you would have to be there for a long period of time. Because obviously they can't take you in and do everything within like a week or something. Like, you know, it'd have to be over the course of months or months. Even the stuff I've been getting done recently, it's over the course of like 4 months. Because how booked their schedule is. Just to visit them like 4 times has taken 4 months. Which I actually have some coming up. 16th and 22nd are the last 2 things I need before the trip. Unless something else comes up between then. There's one thing I didn't do before the trip. I actually don't know a single word of Greek. Probably should learn just a little bit just in case. Because my friend was basically just going to be my translator. Since he knows Greek, English, and a couple other languages. But I'm not sure how big of an issue that's going to be in Greek, not knowing a single word of Greek. Because in the more touristy areas, like Athens, it'd probably be fine. It's just the rest of the country, I feel like it probably wouldn't be. Yeah, like in Athens, I'm pretty sure like everyone would, or you know, not everyone, but you know, like most establishments there would speak English. But the problem is getting further and further outside of Athens. I'm pretty sure that would start to become a little bit of a problem, because the concentration of English speaking would not be as high. Canada's kind of similar too. Like in Toronto, Canada, you can easily speak English and be perfectly fine if that's the only language you know. But if you went to something like Quebec, I'm pretty sure if you didn't know French, you'd kind of have some trouble. It's like one part of the country, if you know only English, is like perfectly fine, but in another part, you might have, might be a little bit more complicated. I feel like, generally speaking, globally, most countries do tend to have some amount of English speaking. It's just not always guaranteed for every establishment or everything that you go into. I don't really know what Greek's, like, ratio is. Especially in the exact location I'll be staying. Because I know in Athens it's pretty high, but in other areas I'm not really sure what the ratio is. KOS is a party place in Greek. I'm probably not going to be going anywhere like that for the most part. Mostly like the historical sites, stuff like that. And just so I don't have to keep coming back, I'd probably do most of Athens, but in a few days. Because it's far enough away that if we do anything there, we're going to have to do it consecutively. I believe it's about an hour, hour and a half from where I'm staying. So it would get pretty costly if you had to keep doing that trip over and over and over again. So when I go to Athens, I kind of need to try to get everything done in one go. Just to keep costs down. Not all in one day, but you know, within one... like, interconnectivity of days. Oh, so I keep clicking save later. Why is it not saving for later? Am I going crazy? I think I clicked that button like 3 times now. There we go. Because even though I'm going to Greek for 3 months, anytime I do anything in an area, I kind of have to do everything in that area within like 3 to 7 days. Just because the cost associated if you kept going back over and over and over again from such a long distance. Especially since even though I got the tickets cheaper, gas prices are still pretty high globally. So even though that made the ticket like $500 cheaper, that's not going to make transport there any cheaper, unfortunately. Since that's not really something you'd buy in advance. Like a bus ticket or a plane ticket within the country or something similar. Yeah, this is the first country that I'll ever be visiting, but there's definitely a lot of other ones on the list of stuff I'd eventually want to see. Japan's definitely one of them. Paris is definitely one of them. Both which I know people in as well. So I might have someone to stay with. I'm not sure what like the full list is, because I'm not like a big on traveling. Like doing it with someone is fun. I feel like I wouldn't travel somewheres like on my own without visiting someone though. Because doing a solo trip just wouldn't be as much fun. Even though it's technically a solo trip, but you know, it's a solo trip that I'm technically doing with someone who's already there. About another half an hour, and then we'll go check our jade pieces, because we should pretty much be there by then. Probably like a few inventories off or so. I'm almost tempted to check it now, but I know for sure we don't have enough. I forget how many jade pieces you can get per hour. But we need like 690. And based on past jade picking ups, I don't know, I guess we can go check. I'll check after this inventory. We shouldn't be there yet, but I don't know. I don't want to like mega overshoot it on accident. I still feel like we have another, like, 40 minutes we still got to pick it up for, though. But I'm going to go check after this inventory. Just out of curiosity, just make sure I'm not, like, way off with how much time we've allocated so far. Because I want that venture slot. We're using that immediately. Though, unfortunately, I do need to wait until they realign. So even though I will be using it immediately, I won't be able to claim it until the following day when I go do the double. Just to make sure all the timers are aligned, because obviously you want them all to be at the same time. You don't want them to be all separated. Because even though I'll be able to put it down in like an hour, I won't be able to claim it for like another 27 hours. Because I need to make sure they match up with these timers. Technically 28 hours. And the main one I want to put it into immediately is mining. I need to get my mining level to 9 so I can do iron again. Because I need it for my current smithing bounties, but I can't currently do them because I don't have iron. So I can't infinitely do my golden bounties right now, even though we reached it for the first time. Because it keeps giving me rapier tasks I can't do. Because obviously I want to mine my own iron. Since we need to at some point anyway, so no point buying the iron. Alright, let's see what the damage is. We need 690. How many do we have? We are sitting at 464. Okay, good thing I checked. But yeah, we were about right. About another half an hour, 40 minutes. So what I'll do is when the stream time has hit 2 hours, we'll go check again and we should pretty much be there. So that's in another, what, 35 minutes. So in 35 minutes, I'll go check Monument again. And we should be pretty close to finished. Then we can just figure out how many inventories we need from there. And then we should be good to go. Yeah, it's definitely gonna feel weird traveling for so long. It's hard to be the longest duration I've ever been away from home in any degree. Is my longest trip ever within the United States or otherwise was about 3 weeks long. Mostly because I got snowed in. It was supposed to only be like closer to 2 weeks or even a week and a half. But it kept getting snowed in like multiple times over. But yeah, the longest time I've ever been away from home is like 3 weeks, and this is gonna be 3 months. So it'll be interesting to see how that pans out. And of course, we won't be able to do the channel and everything during that time. But it'll feel weird being such a long duration. The only way you could realistically do it longer is if you were like studying an area or something similar. Because the amount I'm staying is literally the legal limit. Like with a standard United States passport, I physically cannot stay there longer than 3 months. So I'm staying there like 1 week less than 3 months. Unless you have like some kind of special work visa or a student visa or something similar. Most countries won't let you in for more than like 3 months. Unless you had like a specific reason to be there, like authorized. So this would pretty much be the tied longest trip I could ever realistically do. Alright, at this point, it seems like we only need, what, 10 more inventories? 15? Probably close to 15. Because we're getting 16 per inventory. We're like 200 short, so yeah, it's closer to 15-ish. And then we basically never need to do Forager again, unless we're just picking up supplies for alchemy. Or while doing combat while picking them up for alchemy. Because there's two really nice synergies with Forager into combat. You could throw it into healing potions, and you could throw it into blue potions. You can also do yellow, but we don't care about those as much as Cryonite. But blue and healing are the two ones we care about. Death Curl off of blue with Wall Plant, and Water Lily with Hair Beast. The only annoying thing about Hair Beast is they do yellow damage, which we're weak to. But they're really good to kill because they give us our strongest blue potion in the game. At the highest level as well, though we won't be able to make a potion out of it anytime soon. But plus 100 blue is actually insane how strong that is. If bossing ever comes out and this works exactly as it does now, you're pretty much going to want to use this for every boss key C in the rest of time. Because it's really good on longer fights, so if one single potion lasts for an entire fight like that, that is insane how powerful this thing is, as well as any of the plus 100s. The amount of power you're gaining is absurd. Not counting special attacks or anything else that would be on tiered weapons. A plus 100 potion is stronger than the difference between a 1-star and a 4-star weapon. It is that strong. Like a 1-star weapon with like a good percent roll is stronger than a 4-star weapon. If you're using a plus 100 with the 1-star compared to none with the 4-star. Not counting special attacks or anything else in the future. But it's that big of a disparity. Like, it's basically the equivalence of, like, 4 to 5 rarities increase. Is how strong a plus 100 is compared to none. Though, of course, in those situations, you'd probably at least bare minimum be using, like, a plus 40 or plus 50 from the shop. So really, it's just the disparity between a plus 40 or plus 50 compared to a plus 100. But even then, that's still the equivalence of 3 rarities. That's still the equivalent of a 1-star to a 4-star, basically. At least in the current state of the game. Like, using a plus 100 compared to a plus 40 is literally 4 rarities. Like, the whole difference between, you know, tier 1 and tier 3. I mean, tier 4, I mean. Is very powerful. The biggest issue now is fights are so short that you don't really get that much value from them. But if you ever have boss fights that take like a minute or 2 per kill, you're going to get so much value from these plus 100s. And that's what all these resources are doing. Like these little starfish we're picking up. These are for plus 100 blue potions. The limpets are for plus 100 yellows. And of course, eventually bosses will probably get type weaknesses. I believe every current quest boss and everything don't have a weakness. If anything, they even have immunity sometimes. However, in the future, they're definitely going to add bosses, obviously, that have type weaknesses. And when they do, those potions will be even more valuable because you'll be able to do it for other colors, too. Like, right now, using a plus 100 yellow is pretty much pointless to us. But if a boss comes out that has a yellow weakness, using it on it would actually be very viable. We wouldn't really use it on a generic enemy because it's just not worth it. Like, the cost relative to value is just way too low. But, you know, a boss that has that yellow weakness would be worth it, even with a 49% weapon or something similar. Hopefully by then we can wear other class equipment, though. Because even if other class equipment's a little bit weaker, if we still have like 89% yellow weapon that we can get from a different class, that'd be really powerful. Like if we had the two-handed weapon from Hammer Mage, for example. Would be very nice to have. Alright, put all this away. So we still got the golden fish going around. Oh yeah, I forgot. I never got to show this earlier. They did an update on Monday where they made the highlight for legendary fish different. There's one thing in the patch notes we didn't bother going over because it was so small. But yeah, that's what it looks like, by the way. They basically just have yellow text to show they're legendary. Yeah, that's one thing that was in the Monday update. There's one of the smaller things, so I didn't bother going over, and I didn't have something to show it with at the time because I didn't have a fish active. Yeah, that's all they did. They just made the text, you know, look yellow to match the legendary shininess. Just to make it clearer that it's a different fish. Not that the shininess on it didn't already indicate that. But now the sense bar also has the different text color. Oh yeah, the dog's going crazy right now. Because the other person who was here left, and now it's all alone. And it doesn't like being alone. Like, I could go back out there to comfort it, but the second I leave, it's going to start again. They should probably be back in about half an hour or so. Yeah, the dog gets like that. It needs constant 24/7 attention or it'll beg for it. Yeah, it reminds me almost like a poodle or something similar. Like, it's one of those dogs that you just constantly needs to be having attention. Or will just bark for no reason. At this point, we should only need about 10 more inventories. And we're basically done with Forager forever. Oh, I don't need those. At least not yet. Also, that's something we haven't really gotten to try too much since the update. But of course, the other week we did get the Deposit All update. It's been very nice. I haven't really gotten to like mass farm with it yet, but this is again the first time that we have been able to. But yeah, right-click Deposit All is a thing now. Something that I wish we would have had ages ago, but better, looks at me, better late than never. So hello, John. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, one thing that's gonna feel weird though, whenever we do finally get Forager Max, I'm not sure how I'm gonna feel about that. One of the reasons I've been trying to keep all skills kind of even and not maxing any of them is, Brighter Shore systems work really weird for maxing right now. In the sense that once you max, you no longer get any XP, and all the overflow doesn't really do anything other than, I guess, the knowledge points technically. But, like, the extra XP doesn't go toward your knowledge or anything else, it just gets wasted. It's one of the reasons I've been kind of avoiding getting any skills max. The only reason we even got Forager this high was because of Monument, not because we wanted to have high Forager necessarily. Of course, there's some nice byproducts like all the alchemy supplies that we get from it. But it's something I've been kind of avoiding. But now that we got one, I might just start going for multiple. Especially now that a lot of skills are getting benefits for getting to milestone 9. Like one of them that came out recently, of course, was the mining stones, where you get speed ups for Leatherworker based on up to milestone 9. I'm still missing the one gem from the turtle place, the mushroom turtles. It's not really in a rush for it. Just get everything up slowly over time. You're here for the monument party? Well, if you're here for the monument party, you should be done in about 20 or 30 minutes. I didn't really invite any people, and I have like no one on the friends list, so it's going to be a very small party, but if anyone wants to stop by, we are doing the max monument in what should be like 20 or 30 minutes from now. Once we start putting those pieces in, will be the main indicator. Because after that, showing take like 5 minutes. I generally don't have parties for any of our skills that we ever get in this game. I think the only time we did was when we had 200 all, was the only time we kind of had a party. Because we had like 20, 30 people, so I guess that's technically a party. Like we were maxing out some of the rooms, so. But it's the only thing that we've ever kind of celebrated on the account was 200 all. We'll definitely have to do it for 500 all. Like 2 years from now, whenever that happens. At the rate that we're currently going. Plus a chapter 2 would exist by then. Which means we'd have to go max off Stonewall Hill as well. There's the only problem with maxing this slow. Is we're maxing slow enough that Stonewall Hill will exist by the time we max. Which means we also have to max off Stonewall Hill. Luckily, Stonewall Hill shouldn't be that bad. Because we should have a lot of supplies already pre-banked. Especially if they bring the brick and tile venture out months beforehand. Because we'll have enough venture slots to be able to run double brick and tile. And already have a bunch of cement from things like construction. I mean, from Bonerite. We'll have a bunch of leather, obviously, from Leatherworker. Stuff like that. We'll have a bunch of money for tools for things like Delver. Yeah, that's one thing that they changed. I forget if they ever put it in a patch notes, but that was one complaint I had with it initially. But there was a random update at some point. I forget if I ever read them in a patch notes or if it just kind of shadow dropped or what. But a couple weeks ago, or about a month ago, they made it so all bounties in the milestone system at max level now count as golden bounties. This wasn't always the case. Because we were making jokes that alchemy was technically better at tier 9 than it was at tier 10 because it didn't have golden bounties. But all max tiers now have the golden bounties where your bounty board auto refreshes, which is really, 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 really good. One of them might even become the best moneymaker in the game eventually. Like, honestly, I wouldn't even be surprised if the smithing ones are kind of good money at max level. Like, if you have max level mining and mined all your ore, and then just kept spamming bounties at, you know, max milestone mining, I feel like you would get quite a bit from that. The only problem with that is you would also need max carpentry, because you would need access to U-poles for that. And the problem with that is U-poles are like, gosh, level, basically max woodcutting, as well as basically max carpentry. But you could at least have the mining component if nothing else. Also, a lot of those still break even, so it would just cut into your profits, but you would still make a bunch from it. I'm not sure which bounty would end up ultimately being the most profitable one at max. I would say combat, but I don't think it ever gets golden. There's not a single level range where it becomes golden. So they don't get that system. There's a few of them that don't. Like, for example, Merchant doesn't have it. Detective, I believe, doesn't have it. Oh no, Detective actually does for some reason. Wait, what? That's weird. Detective doesn't have it at any level except for max. Wait, is Merchant the same way? Wait, Merchant would be crazy with that. No way! Wait. Is that actually a thing? Wait. Is that intentional? Because they don't ever get golden bounties, but they have it at max? Does anyone have max Merchant who's messed with that yet? That must be some insane money. Auto refresh Merchant? With 2 bounty boards? Well, I guess you're out enough that that might not do as much. That's still pretty strong, though. Like, always having 6 tasks on your bounty board and not needing to worry about some kind of timer cycle or something. Like, it's not as strong as it is for some skills. But that's definitely really strong, always having 6 tasks and not needing to worry about the timer. Because that basically makes the timer irrelevant. You can still get epic bounties at max. Nice. Because that must be some insane knowledge per hour. Like auto refresh max Merchant. That must be like at max efficiency, like 7 knowledge points an hour or something. Definitely at least 6. That must go crazy. Of course, you wouldn't be getting any XP for it, but you'd be getting like 3-4 gold an hour or whatever it is, plus like 6 to 7 knowledge points per hour, around there. I guess one of the few skills we're doing at post-max would actually kind of be good. But yeah, that must be the best one then. I can't think of any skill that would be better at golden bounties at max than merchant. Just because its knowledge rate is already through the roof. Though one thing I've noticed with merchant or for smithing, I'm not sure if it's a bug or something, but I feel like whenever I do a filtration bounty, it doesn't get replaced with a filtration bounty. It keeps making it like one of those weaker ones. It could just be battle RNG on my end. But I feel like whenever I do filtration, it never gets replaced with filtration. I haven't been able to do it for that many levels yet. Obviously, I've only done like 2 levels, like 1.5. But I feel like it's never replacing filtration with filtration. Yeah, we're almost there. Like 20 minutes or less, and we should have all of them. I'll probably check in 15 minutes just to make sure we don't overshoot. Then might have to do like 1 or 2 more targeted inventories, and then we should be there. Probably the last double knowledge point we even need to get as well. Which, of course, we're putting into alchemy. Then, oddly enough, I'm probably putting into stonemason. Only reason I'm putting into alchemy right now is we're already in the chapter using a boost potion of the same chapter. But a lot of my upcoming knowledge is actually going to go on stonemason. It is currently the hardest skill to train in Mines of Batubin with all the changes they've made. Not even counting the bone right bounties yet. It's just because passives for bone right's already so good. But obviously the bounties would make it even better. That's coming out early May. But yeah, stonemason is currently the hardest skill to train in Mines of Batubin. Mining's free because, you know, you click rocks. Bone right, you can just passive like crazy and it profits. It's the only production skill in the game that passiving it to max profits. Plus the changes that they made to it made it require way less bones. Plus we got all the bones from Forager. So given our own path, it's really free because all the bones are pretty much banked anyways. Smithing is not that bad because of Filtration Station. And honestly, Cobalt Arena pays really well as well. Filtration Station is free and good EXP because you can use the multipliers to make them go bigger. Because the higher difficulties don't really take that much longer on a lot of them. Some of them they do. Like the one where you have to make the longer path one. But a lot of them take about the same time or just slightly longer for like 50% extra XP and everything. As well as money, I believe. So they're pretty good. And Cobalt Arena is actually insanely good as well, especially the 2-star and higher ones. But even up below that, you still break even. And Stonemason is the only one that's kind of weird. Because all of its turner locations are over the place, so it has the same issue that cooking bounties tend to have. In that you're just walking around too much rather than actually gaining XP. Also, the base XP for Stonemason, I'm not sure why, is so much worse than the base XP you get for smithing. Not sure if they just overtuned smithing or if they undertuned Stonemason, but it feels like you just don't get enough XP for the bounties. The payout in silver and everything is fine, it's just the actual payout in XP with how much walking you have to do just doesn't feel high enough. But yeah, of those 4, it's definitely Stonemason the slowest. Not even counting Bone Right, not even having bounties yet. Even without bounties, Bone Right is still better than it now. And with bounties, it'll be substantially better. Even if the bounties are average. Alright, this should be our last double XP boost of the day. Putting into alchemy just to help it out for later. Less potions we'll need to make. Because gosh, are we going to need to make a ton of them. Alchemy is one of those few skills you would do it post-max as well. But the main instance you would do it post-max is obviously for the highest tier potions. Because the only thing we care about from these lower potions, well, we will still use them obviously. The main thing we care about from them is their XP yield. So until we get to tier 9, while they are useful, they're not as useful. Like obviously we want to process all the stuff we got from foraging and stuff like that. But we care a lot more about the XP than the actual potion until tier 9. Even though every potion we would still use. But of course, if some kind of new boss came out and we wanted to go fight it, we ideally would want to be using plus 100s, not plus 80s or 85s or something. Like, we still could, but, you know, we'd want to use the best we can if we have access to it. It's one of the few skills where tier 9 matters so much more than every other tier. And you even get shiny bounties at tier 9 as well. That could be seen as a bad thing rather than a good thing, though. Because that's one of the few skills where you wouldn't want to do deliveries for them. Like, if you had a task to go make, like, 10, you know, max healing potions, you'd get way more value from keeping those max 10 healing potions than you would for turning them in for the bounty, for example. That's the only big issue with alchemy bounties. Like, the make-only ones would be solid, but the turn-in ones are kind of bad. Because aside from the few that are not as needed, like fear potions and stuff, you kind of want to keep them. If it's like healing potion, damage boost potion, XP potions. Like, those are all potion types you want to keep, not send in for a bounty. Because the potion itself is worth more than the gold you would get from the bounty. It's the only thing that's going to be slightly annoying about alchemy bounties. Is unless it's a 2 times or higher rarity, it's probably better just to keep the potion than to deliver the potion. Or whatever system they have. The make-only ones would be really good, and the higher rarity ones would be really good. But if there's like a 1-star deliver for alchemy, you would not ever want to touch it. It'd be a waste at pretty much every level range. Yeah, botanist is in a really weird in-between position. Like, there's some really good supplies you get from botanist, but also a lot of stuff that is just so unneeded. Like, all the fear potion stuff, you already get plenty of. That getting all the stuff that you would get all the way to max is overkill. You get some stuff like the XP potion for the chapter, and like green combat potions, which aren't that bad. But you can kind of live without them, especially if you're not a guardian. You get things like the luck potion, which is probably the best thing, and the whole reason why you would even train botanist is to be able to go get the luck potion, and probably the XP potions for the chapter. Are like the 2 reasons why you would even do botanist. But almost all of it's just basically money saving is the problem with it. Very little utility is actually particularly good from botanist at the moment, ever since they reworked it. There's just a lot of cooking supplies for like AFKs or for actives and stuff that you just don't really need. The only 2 that are insanely good, assuming you're not Guardian, but the only 2 that are insanely good is the XP potion, because you can't buy it from shops. The supplies for the XP potion from this chapter. This one, the only one. It's actually the only one that's like that at the moment for some reason. And the other thing that's really good is the clovers. You can buy those from shops, but it's a really good potion. So to be able to get them for free is very nice, because it's a potion you need a lot of. But that's basically all you get from botanist in the current state of the game. It's probably the weakest skill in the entire game right now. It's one of the reasons it's also my lowest. Partially because of how they reworked it, but also because of what it feeds into just isn't that good. I do have to say, it is more fun to do than it was before, if nothing else. But they kind of made the skill worse after every rework they did to it. Because one of the biggest appeals from it was all the bones you could get, which got moved to Forager. So you don't even get that from it anymore. Like, one of the biggest appeals for training Gatherer, or, you know, back when it was Gatherer, is not even on Botanist anymore. Because when it comes to gathering skills right now, I would say, not counting, like, utility ones, like, you know, Merchant or something similar, but ones where you actually gather resources, I would say Forager is the strongest, and Botanist is definitely the weakest. Fishing is currently the 2nd weakest, or even the absolute weakest, depending on how you look at it, because you literally just do ventures for it, so you can kind of just ignore it. But it's mostly because cooking doesn't have buffs yet, but they will be doing something with that in the future. So once they do, fishing will become a little bit more viable. I would say the 2nd strongest is probably mining. So Forager the strongest, mining 2nd strongest. Mining makes it so your leather worker's quicker, but it also makes it so basically not free. But I guess so, yeah. Combined with bounties, smithing and stonemason become free and profitable if the only component you do is mining and not woodcutting carpenter. So it has a lot of synergy there just to go max out your weapon making skills. So there's only 2 that really matter at the moment, like gathering skill-wise, where you actually gather nodes. Because fishing is kind of useless until they buff cooking. Wood cutting is kind of useless because you just buy the final carpentry supply and skip both of these. It will cost you more, but you get to skip 2 skills effectively in the current state of the game. This won't always be the case once they have more interconnectivity, but at the moment you can pretty much just full skip them. Mining is nice because it feeds into these, and those are it. Because these aren't really gathering skills, merchant and detective. They're more so like utility skills of some kind. Not sure how to categorize them, but they're definitely not like gathering in a sense. But yeah, I'm not sure which one's actually weaker, fishing or botanist right now. I feel like it's botanist, but fishing is also pretty bad. The only reason I give fishing more value is because chef will be more valuable in the future. But we don't really know what that will be until we know what those buffs are going to be. But once we do, then we can determine if fishing is better than botanist at the moment. But I don't know, we'll just have to wait and see. Having the tool specials does make it speed up a fair bit. Oh yeah, you can basically full grow a plant. There's actually a really funny strategy you can do while doing carpentry as well, which I haven't really had the chance to like properly mass do because I haven't really been training stuff in that chapter. But there's the orchids that you can do from Gatherer course. And these are right in the room where you do carpentry, like if you're banking. I want to show this on map. There we go. But this is in the room where you go right by to go bank right over there. And if you end up doing that, you can go and do carpentry while full growing the plant like every other cycle. You just keep doing that over and over and over and over again. Alright, what time are we at right now? One inventory after this inventory, and we're gonna go check what our numbers are. Because I believe we might be there, or within striking distance, where we just grab like an extra 1 or 2 full inventories, be good to go. But yeah, we'll finish this inventory, do next inventory, and then we'll go check. Because we might be at monument time. And we'll go put all them in, and yeah, we'll max out monument. Go light up the braziers at the top. And then for the rest of time, we have 3 venture slots instead of 2. And whatever the requirement is for the other 3 down the line, we will go grind to the ends of the earth. I'll clear as much of my schedule as I can to go power grind them down whenever they come out. So we can go get it done just so we have the extra free XP over the long duration of time. I am curious what the other 3 requirements will be. If they do a point system for dungeons, 100% they're putting 1 in dungeon. I feel like 1 mega quest in the future might end up giving 1. If they start adding like 10-star quests, I feel like a 10-star quest reward could be a venture slot. If they ever go that high with it. I'm not sure where they would put the 3rd though. Or, well, you know, the 6th at that point. But they'll find some kind of system to put it on. That'd be funny if they put it on something completely arbitrary though. Like go do PvP. Go kill 1,000 people in PvP for a venture slot. No, I don't think they would ever do that. It would be funny though. When PvP comes out, I'll probably do it like crazy for the first week and then like never touch it again. Unless there's like really good rewards that you get from it otherwise. PvP minigames I wouldn't buy as much. I wouldn't mind as much. But if it's just like PvP, like dueling like stuff, I'd probably barely touch it. Alright, 1 more inventory and we'll go check. Do I like PvP? Oh no. It depends on the game. Because I definitely play some games that are literally just only PvP. But to make it fit in an MMO, it's always really hit or miss. Because the biggest issue with PvP in an MMO is you're competing to balance it with PVM. So they're always kind of like pushing on each other whenever content comes out. Because something might be ridiculously broken for PvM, but barely do anything in PvP. Or vice versa, where something is really broken in PvP, but it's like trolling if you use it in PvM. But then if you nerf that thing in PvP, you just made it even more useless in PvM. It's really hard to balance, is the problem with a lot of MMOs. Because if you're using the same systems for both PvP and PvM, then there's a lot of issues that can start popping up. But then if you do two completely different systems, it could get really confusing. If combat's like completely different in PvP than it is in PvM. If there's like a billion exceptions for how stuff works in one compared to the other. But honestly, if they do anything based on what they've done in the past, I feel like PvP minigames would be the funnest thing they could do. These things like Castle Wars, Stealing Creations, stuff like that they've done in the past have been pretty fun. Particularly Stealing Creations, which was basically a combination of every skill in the game combined with PvP. Alright, let's hope this is enough. We'll find out if we have 690 banked. And if not, I'll grab whatever inventories we need, just targeting it down. And then this should be Monument finally completed. We started this grind in March. It is now, I don't know, or did we start in June? I mean, not June, I mean, February. Wait, when did we start? I actually forget now. When was the milestone update? We started one day after milestone update. Let me see, I could check their website. Milestone update was on, February 9th. So, yeah, it took us exactly 2 months. About 1 month of us actively playing, or a little bit less than 1 month of actively playing. And then 1 month of us passiving like crazy. But yeah, it took us 2 months. One relatively active and one pretty much completely passive. To be able to go get it maxed. Oh, come on, you gotta be kidding me, I'm too short. Okay, let me go grab 2 single jades. And there we go, we're good to go. Alright, let's go max out the monument. We're there. We have exact number after picking up these 2. It's just a matter of putting them all in and then lighting the braziers. Alright, let the process begin. There's some miscounted somewhere, but there should be exactly 690. It's gonna take me a few minutes to go get them all in. Let's see. But let me just deposit it just to see it. There it is, 690. And this number should also be 690. So this should be exact number. Yep, 690. Alright, let's start putting them in. Obviously, it's gonna take a little moment. Are you saying wait? Well, it's gonna take me a while. Like, it's gonna take me at least a few minutes to go put them all in. It's not like this gets done instantaneously. Gonna take me a moment. It just takes at least like 5 minutes to go put them all in. Yep, someone from Blades of Adothgar as well. This is like one of the few like big milestones you can kind of do in the game. Like realistically. That actually gives you like particular progress. Is that notorious streamer Tacit? Hello, hello. Guy with the laugh. Is that what I'm known for these days? I do plan on eventually covering a bunch of guides for the game whenever they do get closer to actual launch. The only reason I haven't been is they keep overhauling like literally the entire game like every few months. So I've been kind of waiting till closer to 1.0. But no, we've mentioned since like week 1, regardless of player size number, we'd always be around. Of course, going to be on a 3-month trip soon, so it won't be around during that time, but you know what I mean. Like, I've literally played this game every day since launch. It might have been literally just resetting dailies, but there's not been a single day since launch that I have not played Brighter Shores. Normally it's off stream, obviously. And normally it's only for like a few minutes or so, just to reset daily. Point. So we've still been around. It's not always doing as much content or videos or anything at any given time. But that's mostly because I'm waiting for the game to finally, like, finish developing everything. But whenever new stuff comes out, obviously we'll cover it. That's what the Monday stream's been for. Which luckily they've been doing every week now, so... At least something small to go over every single week. Yeah, we're almost there. We're like halfway through. Yeah, there's Cryodek. Has he joined the Monument Party? Wait, did Cryodek already finish Monument? He probably finished it like a month ago. Because there was one point where we're the exact same level. And I'm pretty sure he completely blew us out and did it like months ago. Because I started passiving like crazy. So I assume he already finished Monument earlier. Did the stream go down? I don't see anything dropping frames or anything. It's one thing that's somewhat annoying with YouTube as well, sometimes. I'm pretty sure every streaming platform sometimes has that issue, though. But, my streaming software is literally showing 0% dropped frames. Yet it still cuts out sometimes. Not sure what causes it. Alright, we got about half of them in. We're almost there. Hey, our gold stack's going up as well. Still not sure what I'm spending it on. I know we're going to spend a lot on alchemy. Oddly enough, now that we're starting to get bounties for everything in Chapter 3, I don't think Chapter 3 actually costs us anything. Yeah, we're almost there. I'll take a picture with you guys right before we finish with the final 24. But even though we're finishing Monument right now, it might be another month before I finish Forager, by the way. Even though it's only 6.5 levels and you can technically do that in a single day. Because I'm just going to be getting it done while I combine it with combat and everything. Yeah, we're almost there. Yep, home stretch, finally there. Now we can finally focus on a different skill. And I don't need to keep passiving this for like a month straight, month and a half straight. I can put it into good skills, like production skills to go get better weapons and stuff. So that our entire combat grind we just have upgraded weapons for. Hopefully by then we'll have special attacks too. That's why I kind of want to do the alchemy grind before I necessarily go in all the way max Mines of Batubin. One of them is because I want Mines of Batubin potions. But the other reason is because I need I need there to be special attacks. Yeah, 404G. That's technically not a lot. I'm pretty sure there's some people with like several platinum at this point. Especially people who rushed Merchant Leatherworker early. Which I never did. Obviously we got up some, but not like max level some. Yeah, I'm not sure how much money we made from Forager. I don't feel like it was a lot though. Most of the money you make from Forager is savings on Bonerite and Alchemy. Because the money that you get from Monument pretty much just pays for your tools. So you kind of go like dead even on that. Because some of those later tools are pretty expensive. I think at tier 9 I spent like over 10 gold for all the tools for Forager. So we're pretty much just making that 10 gold back right now from doing Monument. All the savings mostly comes from your Alchemy savings and your Bonerite savings. Which we don't get to see until we actually, you know, level them a bit with it. But that's where most of the money from Forager is making Alchemy and Bonerite cheaper. Especially once we get bounties for Bonerite in May 5th, I think it is, in a month from now. Because then you save even more money with it. You need like 17 or 18 plat for all tools? Oh gosh. If I was to ever farm platinum, I'd be doing it for a future chapter. Like if I was to ever max a tool, I would only do it if I'm doing like a 500 rush grind or something. I would not do it just for the sake of doing it. But if there was a new skill that came out and you were immediately able to go and max those out, I would maybe do it. I don't think we'll be doing it for Delver because I don't think I'm going to have that kind of money to upgrade like 2 or 3 tools to max. because that's already like, what, several platinum. But I would maybe consider it if we were like really loaded in the future and we want to go for like a rank top 5 run or something. Definitely would never go for first. I don't think I have enough time in a day to be able to go for first. You'd have to do like 18 or 20 hours a day. For 100% completion? I'm not sure if I'm that big on completion to do that. Maybe I would eventually. If they don't add any good gold sinks within a few years, I would start considering it. If there's not like a platinum sink by the time like 3 years from now. I assume they would add at least one by then though. Because right now the only platinum sink is pretty much leveling your skills, but then after that it's just upgrading tools. Or saving platinum for the future. Or buying like billions of potions so you have them for later. But there's no like absurdly good platinum sink in the current state of the game, which kind of makes sense. But at some point they'll add something for it. Alright, 2 more inventories to go. We're almost there. Well, technically 3 counting this one. Alright, almost there. 2 more sets. And then 1 partial set. And then I have a nice clean bank with nothing in it. But it looks like we got like 4 or 5 gold just from the final tier. That's not too bad. But again, that's just breaking even on the tools, counting all the stuff we got from stone. Because the tools were like 10 something, and we got back about 10 something from stone and jade. Alright, here we go, final bit. Alright, let me take a picture with you guys. Because I'm gonna disappear once we go into cutscene and everything else. I'll take the picture right over here, let's see. Alright, there we go. Oh, let's see, where's the emotes? Where's the dance one? There we go. Oh, we got the screenshot. Let me get the screenshot with nothing in case we ever need it for a thumbnail. Oh, the dance stopped. I forgot. You can't loop it. Where's the thingy? Dance again. Alright, there we go. Alright, I think that's all of them. Alright, let me go put the last one in. Alright, it's time. It is time. We got the top braziers. I can see still your emotes. I can't see you guys, but I can see your emotes through the cutscene. Thank you, thank you. Alright, let's go light them. Alright. Moment of truth. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can even queue them up. Nice. Oh, no, you can't. It just messed my other one up. Alright. There we go. Congratulations! By completing the monument and lighting all the braziers, you've unlocked an extra venture slot. The whole reason for doing this at all. It has been done. There we go. Well, I guess I can go head over to go do that venture now. And then I'm probably calling it for now. Then we'll go to our passive. Alright, I'm going to tell you over to set up the venture. And then I'm probably going to go grab dinner. But yeah, there we go. It took 2 months. Should have only taken about a month, but we passive like the whole final stretch. But, yeah, let me go set up this venture that we just got unlocked. Nice 3rd slot. And, yeah, then we'll go back to passives. Which at this point, I think we're passiving Stonemason. Because this is the one furthest behind. Plus, we're at the free one right now, so gotta go get this free XP in. Up is the Blade guy adding us? We'll go at him. Where is he? Somewhere's in this mess. Friends. Yep, there we go. Accept. There we go. But if anyone ever wants to add me, just let me know. I just need to clear out my list. I need to start clearing out all the inactive people from, like, the first month of the game. But now we can start getting passive free mining XP every single day while still getting all of our fishing XP. And, of course, we can move the fishing ones onto anything if we want. Which we will eventually do, just not right now. And, of course, as of about a month ago, this is now a 24-hour venture. So it'll, or 23-hour. So it'll align with the other ones. It used to be a 12-hour venture, then an 11-hour venture, but now it's 23. And it gives you a mount accordingly to it. But, yeah. I won't be able to take it until, like, 26 hours from now, because obviously I need them to align with my oyster, so I can do double oyster into the brimstone. But, yeah, there we go. It's done. Our main focuses now are slowly getting alchemy over time. Keep working on Mines of Batubin skills, because I might actually just go max out this whole chapter soon. And then just focusing on other things we need, like a combat milestone 20. Whenever they add new updates every single Wednesday, obviously we'll do stuff for that every single time, stuff like that. But that's pretty much the game plan at this point. Hope you all have, actually no, let's go to our passive and then we'll call it. But I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your week. As far as upcoming streams, obviously we'll keep doing the Brighter Shores one whenever there's an update day until our trip. We'll still be doing that. I might have one day dedicated just an all-in smithing stream since we do have golden bounties, but beyond that, it's mostly just gonna be the weekly stuff until then. As far as other stuffs, I will be doing the League for Old School RuneScape, so I'll be doing that probably a lot the first week. Not sure if I'm doing it too much beyond that because I have other stuff I need to get done before the trip. But at least the first week of the League, I'll probably go pretty hard on it and do it like every single day for a bunch. The 10-year anniversary of the channel is on the 23rd. We'll still be doing the League that day, as well as later in the day, I'll be doing my normal game we've been doing for 10 years, which is Gems of War. So we'll have that and celebrate that for 10 years on the 23rd. And beyond that, yeah, just normal upkeep stuff. Why did I come here? For, you know, everything. And we'll go from there. That's pretty much the game plan then. And I went to the complete wrong room. I could have grabbed some ore or something while I was there. But what I meant to do was go to the stone thingy over here. Also, while I'm here, let me grab some bounties. In case we got some good ones. So I'm starting to get over encumbered here. Should probably go do some of these soon. Oh no, I got too many good ones. I don't know, some of these you gotta go out of your way for. Let me just do this guy because he's really easy to go do. I'm not gonna grab the other one for now, I guess. I have too many bounties. I need to go clear them later. I'll worry about that after I grab a bite to eat. But for now, I'm gonna grab dinner. Thanks for stopping by, everyone. And yeah, main objective for Forager finally completed. Still need 7 levels to go max, likely 6.5, but we'll do that later. I'm not really in a rush to go get a leaderboard position locked in. Though if we were to do it right now, we technically are the 173rd monument completed person. So we could go and finish that completely. Oh no, we'll consider it in the next soonish. But, oh no, actually we would get 170th. We'd become the 170th person if we were to go all the way right now. I'm not really in a rush for it, so we'll get it when we get it. But, who knows, maybe we'll get it soon while doing some combat later. Because I'll do some combat synergy while doing Forager, we'll see. But maybe I'll get it soonish. But, yeah, we were the 173rd person with monument completed. Is what it came out to. But anyways, guys, thanks for stopping by. Hope you all have a wonderful week. Catch you guys later, and see you guys soon. Goodbye, everyone. And thanks for watching.